Hey, what's up? It's Sifu Kuttel, and in this video we're going to be doing some snake style kung fu, and we're going to be focusing on a quick draw technique, or more so quick draw training to eliminate telegraphing, as we like to call it. So I'm going to show you 3 ways of doing this. We're going to be working from moving slow, and then we're going to work into moving faster, and then we're going to work from a standing position. But this is something that you can begin working from a tabletop. So go have a seat and let's get to work. Okay, so as you can see here, I'm sitting down. I actually have a stool in front of me. You can sit down at a table, a desk. You can even stand at a table or a desk. But we want to be able to put our hands on top of it at a position that's at about rib level for us. Now, our main goal here is to eliminate telegraphing. And if you don't know what telegraphing is, it is a term that we use for preemptive movement before striking. So sometimes you'll see that somebody, like a big telegraph would be somebody pulling the hand back and then throwing the punch. Or it could be something as small as somebody closing their, having their hands relatively open and then closing their fist or doing a little shake right before they do a punch. So we're trying to eliminate unnecessary body movement here. And the way that we're going to do that is isolating just the arms. And again, this is since it is a drill, don't worry about like getting full waist rotation and full intention into this. But we're just going to use our regular snake strike forward, and all you're going to do is just raise that hand up and then forward and strike. Now hold this position, think of it like doing Tai Chi. We're going to hold this position, and you want to make sure that we focus on accuracy at this point. So it should be where you want it, and then make sure return nice and comfortable, and then again nice straight line up towards your target and then back. I'm not trying to like scoop and then hit here. I'm just going straight up to hit and then back, up, pause, back, up, pause, back. Now as I do this, I want to think of not letting my elbows rotate outward. I want to keep my elbows bent slightly downward. So at the end here, you can double check and make sure you have the proper elbow bend. And again here, try not to get too much involved with your upper body. The timing on that would be just slightly at the end. You can get a little extra rotation, tighten up the ribs right here, connect the hip to the shoulder. That's really not necessary when we're sitting down. But do this a few times because you want to train the body nice and slow, and as the saying goes, slow makes smooth, smooth makes fast. Now this takes us to the next step. Moving faster, you really have to pay attention to 2 things here. One is preemptive movement. It's very easy now when we're going to try to go fast, we're going to try to go full power. Take it up little by little to full speed, full power. You don't want to rush it right away, because then you start getting tense and you're going to start shaking things when you actually try to do this, or you're going to be nice and still in movement, but then at the end you have some inaccurate wave of your arm. So start a little bit lighter at first, but now we're going to just reach nice and relaxed. You can see a little bit of flex here at the end. That's just snapping. I'm not tensing up, I'm just reaching forward. But this is also where I want to have some accuracy in my hand technique. So I want to think of looking at something in particular in front of me and then bringing my hand out to strike. Now, doing this a few times gets you comfortable with the motion, but the true training comes with not the amount of repetitions, but the amount of correct repetitions. And for that, I suggest you go a little bit slower on the in-betweens. Really relax the body. Give yourself a chance to feel your body. You want to think of like a glass like if you had a glass with dirt in it and it's shaken up, the water is going to be all cloudy. You got to let that water return to being crystal clear, sand on the bottom of the cup, before you try to launch this hand and shake everything up again. So once you feel that the body is still, then you can work on reaching out nice and fast. But you want to check your shoulders, check your posture, everything should be nice and relaxed before you whip the hand out and strike. And again, focus on the accuracy. Now you can take this one a step further, you can modify it a little bit in working from directions. So I can have this now from my hands at the side. So instead of me looking straight forward here, I'm now looking out to the side when I reach out and strike. Now that we're standing, there are many more dynamics that we have to pay attention to. We could have foot movement, we could have waist rotation, We have lots of different things that we need to pay attention as we do this, so I do suggest kind of starting little by little, step by step. And again, we're going to focus on maintaining stillness before striking. So again, think of that jar shaken up. After every move, you got to give yourself a second, let that water settle, let it become crystal clear again. So we want to hold this neutral position. And I would say in the beginning, just a nice relaxed fighting stance or a nice comfortable 50-50 stance. You're ready to move forward, ready to move back if you need to. And just from here, once you find that stillness, just the hand reaches out. And then again, just the hand reaches out. Really just pay attention to here. Look for anything that you are doing to either aid in the strike or counterbalance the strike, because it's very common that we could be reaching forward here, but then shifting back to counterbalance that forward motion. It could happen. It could happen where you do an extra turn and then strike. So you want to be looking at these little things that your body is doing that's unnecessary motion, that the idea is to help, but it's actually going against this like quick draw out of nowhere kind of attack. So again, let everything settle, pay attention to your body, assess what you need to do to strike and then what your body did that was unnecessary, and focus on eliminating that. Now, once you get comfortable with that, you can add different footwork. So now I can focus on, from my neutral position, I can step in and strike. I can step back and strike as well. I can turn to the side and strike. I can use a lot of different ways of doing this, but I would say always take it back to that neutral position, find your stillness, and then when you initiate, everything works together. All right, so that's going to be it for this video. Now, this is a training exercise, so if you want to get the most out of it, you need to do it a few times, more than just watching it. You actually need to try this out. You need to put some effort in, work on it, and seek improvement. So add this to a couple of your training sessions, add this to any time you're sitting down and you have the space to do it. There's a lot that you can develop right here. Now, the other thing I do want to mention is this is actually applicable to combat sports and other strikes, especially getting into that standing version. You can start from your guard stance, making sure the body is nice and still, and then coordinating everything to work together, initiate at the exact same time, launch that technique, and then hit your target at the exact same time. So you have that precision of movement without any kind of like extra telegraphing motion or any kind of withdrawal and strike. Now, of course, this will affect your power at first, and that's totally fine. We're working on a very specific aspect of this, so it's not going to be your strongest strike. But this is going to bleed over and start to mix with your strong strikes, and eventually you're going to eliminate telegraphs. And on the snake kung fu side, if we're looking at in terms of self-defense, this is something that you can apply from like a, hey, I don't want to escalate this, like, hey, I want to just chill out, relax, non-threatening position, and then you're ready to strike from there and hit a vital point. So this is kind of those opportunities that we're looking to train. Again, there's not going to be one perfect strike. Not everything is going to be, meant to be a knockout, but this one is going to give you the edge. You'll be able to launch quickly, just like a snake that's coiled up and ready to strike. All right, check out the playlist for other training ideas and techniques as far as snake kung fu goes. Otherwise, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in the next.